What is up, you guys? Pete DiCarlo here, and today we're going to be talking about Spce, or Virgin Galactic. I have a lot of people who are asking me about this stock, and for those of you who know, this was one of my biggest long-term investments that I had a couple of months ago. I actually did end up selling it once we started to get pushing up to around like this $24 range because I had a really nice average price of $17. Now, for a lot of people, you might be like, well, if it's a long-term investment of yours, why would you sell when you're up 44%? Why wouldn't you hold it for the long term? And my main thing is, number one, you are probably right. I probably should have held, and I might have a chance to buy back in right now. But the main reason is that when you're investing, you have to figure out price points that make sense. So for instance, I love Virgin Galactic, but I'm not going to be buying Virgin Galactic at $35, $34. It just doesn't make sense to me. And I like to think of it kind of like clothing. If I buy this hoodie for $10, and it goes up to $50 in the store next week, and I go back to the store and I needed a hoodie, would I buy the same hoodie for $50? No, I wouldn't. So at the time, I sold Spce. I thought we were going to get a pullback. Instead, it ended up just breaking out like another 40%. And I figured that there would be another time for me to buy into this stock again once we got a pretty sizable fade, and we're kind of there right now. So overall, for those of you who do not know what Virgin Galactic is, or the ticker SPCE, essentially they are a space travel business. So overall, you can see right here that the company is still, in my opinion, not even a company. They do have some contracts with NASA. They are really, at this point, a speculative investment. And I kind of like to say that they're sort of like, Tesla back in about 2007, 2008, when they first went public. And it's kind of like one of those situations where you're buying an idea. You're buying into the way that the company is ran. You're buying into the executives. You're buying into the investors, like, Chamath Palihapitiya. You're buying into Richard Branson's idea. You're buying into the executive team. You're buying into that. At this point, you're really not buying into a company. You guys can see right here, we'll just quickly go over some of the fundamentals. The company right now has a market cap of $5.6 billion, which I think is a little high still. They have an EPS of negative $1.70. There is no PE ratio because in order to have a price to earnings ratio, you have to actually be profitable. There is no dividend, obviously, and they're trading within the mid of their low to high 52-week range. If we take a look very quickly at the income statement, which we only have 2019 numbers right here. 2020 will be different once they fully come out. In 2017, they had no revenue. 2018, no revenue. And then in 2019, we had $3.7 million. So not a ton of revenue. But like I said before, in the year 2020, they did get some good contracts with NASA. And overall, like I said, you're not buying into this company because of how the balance sheet and the income statement look. I just kind of want to put these out here so we can take a look at them. The other thing to look for is the total net income. So overall, 1.3 million, 10 million, and then a loss of $210 million, which is really not good from a net income standpoint. But overall, a company like this is going to burn a ton of money because what they are doing is what nobody has ever done before. That's why somebody like Tesla was burning a crap ton of money and still burns a crap ton of money, because they're constantly a disruptor and they're constantly pushing, the narrative of what is actually possible and what isn't possible. So obviously not the best income statement. Balance sheet, they have about $480 million on the books. And you can see here too that really not the best. Overall, in liabilities, 138 million. And in total assets, 606 million. But like I've said before, I'm showing you these just so you have an understanding that this is not a strong fundamental company. This is just an idea. So if we take a look at Virgin Galactic in the past couple of, let's just say like the past year. So we're looking at it within the past year. And if you're an investor, and that's what we're sitting here to say, is SPCE a great investment? I still want to look at the charts because I want to see how it's been moving in the past year. We had huge movement behind it. Once basically the public took it to an insane level. We went from $11.30 all the way up to $42. We had a massive fade, big bull trap. You guys know market cycles. Took another fade, went back down to $9. Big money had kind of left it for a bit. as far as like trading it and moving it has been considered. We had nice price action. That was actually, this would have been a great play. Nice descending wedge, big breakout. But overall, we have just been bouncing over the past year between $26 and $17. So every single time it would come down to $17, multiple times, I'd buy in and then I'd sell it around 25. I bought in when it was down at 17, sold it around 25. Finally, however, we took a huge push and a huge breakout. We went all the way up to $35. The main reason behind this is a couple of things. Number one, they got some great contracts over the summer with NASA. Number two, they were doing a test flight in New Mexico to see if they could, because I think the last test flight they did was in 2019, so they were doing their only test flight for 2020. And this is when we had all this great news that was coming out. The public got a hold of it once again, pumped it up extremely high. I mean, just in 37 days, it went up 108%. And then just like everything else, the rug got pulled out from under it. And for me, my opinion, I don't think the rug got pulled out for a good reason. I mean, the reason we had this massive fade from lows to highs, about 20% in a single day overnight, a gap down that much. And the main reason for that is because they actually had a failed test flight. Let me see if I can bring it up, in New Mexico. So essentially what ended up happening was they wanted to get their spacecrafts up into orbit. And the way that these spacecrafts work is that you can see here, there is basically two massive jets that kind of bring the smaller pod up into the air, up into the atmosphere, and then it goes, the small pod detaches and goes up into orbit. Something misfired, something happened where once they let go of the small one, it ended up not being able to get up into orbit, but everybody landed safely. So therefore, in my opinion, it's really not that big of a deal, and it really doesn't warrant a 30% sell-off, in my opinion. So overall, I think Virgin Galactic is a very, very speculative investment. If you guys can walk away with anything, that's what it is. If you're buying this as an investment, you shouldn't be looking at the price. You shouldn't be looking at the volatility. You shouldn't even be caring about anything, because at this point, you're just buying a hope and a dream. And I am very bullish on this. I think that, for me in general, if I were to put $10,000 into SPCE and it were to go to nothing, I wouldn't really care, because I understand the risk that comes along with this, but I also understand the potential reward, the fact that 10 years from now, Virgin Galactic could be $1,000 company. And to me, that is huge. So I am personally going to be buying. I am probably going to open a leap option, which means I'm going to open an option that expires 6 months to 1 year from now, probably with a call strike around $27. Overall, I think that we end up recovering, maybe not, filling this gaps too quickly, but I do think that buying SPCE at $23 is not a bad price. I don't think we're ever going to get back down to $14, $15, $16. So overall, guys, I like SPCE. It's extremely risky, but I really like it, and I will probably be adding it to my portfolio. I'll keep you guys posted. Thank you for watching. Hit the like button. Have a great new year, and I will see you next time. Peace.